everybody, my name is Jen and this is Jen Geigley Knits, and welcome to day 13 of Vlogmas. That is unreal. I don't have a lot of exciting things today. I'm not making any cookies or anything like that, but I do have a brand new pattern that has come out this week for a company called Farm and Fiber. And I don't have the sample anymore. I sent it to the company for photography and everything, but I'm going to show you their photos right here. So this new scarf is called Loon Lake, named after this colorway of this yarn, which I'll talk about in a minute. You can wrap it up in my new Lofty and Warm Loon Lake scarf for Farm and Fiber Knits, which is a new subscriber-based online magazine type thing. This generous scarf makes a bold statement and keeps the chill away. It uses 4 skeins of Blue Sky Fibers Woolstock North, which is their new bulky yarn and is fabulous to knit with. If you knitted with their old bulky, which was also one of my favorites, I've used it for several of my patterns, you're gonna love this even more. I think the older bulky is discontinued, but this is their new bulky yarn. It doesn't fuzz. It really holds together nicely. It's beautiful and soft. And it's wool, but not scratchy wool. It's like the nice, soft, luxurious wool that you like to have next to your skin. And this color is my favorite, and I loved knitting a whole big thing with it. It was so much fun. So this is called Loon Lake. It uses 4 skeins of this if you want to make the big scarf. And it's knit on US 17 needles, so it goes very fast, and it makes a fantastic gift if you're looking for something quick to make for yourself or someone else. The awesome photos I just showed you were taken by Gale Zucker, who's one of my knitting friends, and they do a lot of awesome photography. A great scarf pattern is surprisingly elusive. There's not that many of them out there that are like, there's a lot of cowls and hats and things like that, but a really great scarf is kind of hard to come by. So we made a list of our perfect scarf criteria, and I wanted to share it because I think it's really good. Here's our great winter scarf must-have list. A scarf should be reversible. This is something that I feel strongly about, that it should look great on both sides. This scarf is completely reversible. It looks the same on both sides, and it has the nice edging around the edges, so the scarf lies flat and does not curl up, another important thing. It should add style and flair to your outfit. This one definitely does that. It's like a bold statement scarf that adds like some oomph to your basic outfit or to your jacket or coat. It should be long enough to wrap and wrap again if need be. I don't like a short scarf. I like a big scarf that's actually warm, that you can wrap in several ways, that you can just kind of lay over yourself almost like a blanket. This is that. Almost the Lenny Kravitz scarf, but not quite the Lenny Kravitz scarf. It needs a stitch pattern that's not too hard to memorize, but still keeps you engaged. After all, a scarf is a lot of knitting, and the temptation to put down a boring scarf is strong. But this one is not like that. It's different every row, but it isn't difficult at all, and you can kind of figure out where you are. It's not hard, and you don't have to pay attention. Like, I could watch TV and knit this scarf, and I did, but it still keeps you interested for sure. It's not just the same stitch over and over again. It's a mix. A winter scarf should trap pockets of warm air and keep the cold breeze at bay. Yes. This absolutely does that. This yarn is, I believe, made in Minnesota, Blue Sky, and they understand the trapping of the warm pockets of air and keeping you cozy. So this is like the perfect Minnesota cold winter scarf. Also, a scarf calls for a yarn that is oh so soft, both in fiber and yarn structure. This meets all the criteria. So this, once again, is Woolstock North from Blue Sky Fibers, and I love it, and it's my new favorite. And I have a little bit left over, so I think I'm gonna make a hat to go with my scarf, because I think they're sending the scarf back to me. I sent it to them for photos, and so I don't have it here, but I will totally be wearing this scarf, and now I need a hat. You can get the Loon Lake pattern by subscribing to Farm and Fiber Knits. They offer a digital issue, subscriber-only patterns, fiber and knitting stories. There's like articles and things to read, and a growing library of patterns, ebooks, and more. So you can find out more about all this on farmfiberknits.com, and I'll leave the link below in the notes. It's very new. This is just like maybe their first issues are just coming out like now and in January and in the new year ahead. So go check out farmfiberknits.com to find out more. I think they offer a monthly subscription for like $5.99 or something close to that. Don't quote me on it, but something like that, where you can pay annually. And it's really high quality stuff by designers that you love, including me. So that's my new pattern that's out today. The Loon Lake scarf. I'm sorry I don't have it here to show you, but I'm just gonna hold this yarn pretending it's my scarf. And this is like a future hat that will match the scarf. I really do love this yarn, and I love Blue Sky, and was really excited to work with this. So I plan on getting more colors of this to make more things. And I actually just want to make a sweater in this. I love bulky sweaters. So anyway, you might be seeing more of the Blue Sky Woolstock North in the future. Here, they have a really good yellow. Another thing that I kind of slept on since yesterday when I was going through my spin cycle stash is I really do think that this neon color called Bad Egg, the new spin cycle, deserves its own project, maybe not the shift cowl. And I think my original colors I picked for the shift are better on their own, and that was what I was planning anyway. So I'm just gonna use that for the shift. And I found a new in-progress project for this that will work better. And so I quickly checked their website this morning, and they still have Bad Egg available. I didn't know if it was gonna be sold out, because some of their colors sell out really fast. But they luckily still had this in stock, so I ordered one more skein because I'm gonna add it to my very not far in progress Alpenglow. I wasn't crazy about the spin cycle I had set aside for this. It was, I don't even have it with me, but it was like a blue-green. It was okay, but this, for the color work with this for my Alpenglow, is amazing. And this didn't exist when I was picking out colors for my Alpenglow. So this, I think, is perfect for the color work for this. This looks really cool together. Follow Me Into the Dark for this one. I cannot remember what this is called. These are my Magpie colors. And then this is super cool. So this is a better fit, I think. And I just had to get one more of these, and then I should be good and all the yarn for this. I am missing the mohair for this. I believe there was like a third color for mohair, but I'll just look around my stash and find something, or maybe not even use mohair and just use something else like this. Just find a third color, and then this, and then like that's perfect, honestly. Let me see if I can get it to, there we go. Look how good. This is a very Jen sweater and very Jen colorway. This dark color is almost like a dark green teal. And I think it looks really good with all this. And the Bad Egg color, this light, it's almost like a mint gray, really goes with this. And so this is like meant to be, and my new plan now. Do I have another one of these? No. Trying to see what else. I've been having this like stashed away in a bag for quite a few months. I think I bought some of this at last Rhinebeck, like Rhinebeck 2022. I bought the Magpie for this, and then another time I collected all the spin cycle. Anyway, now, you know, it's just one of those projects that you find your things, you know, over time, and then it comes together even better than you had planned. So I'm not mad about it. And I think this is the perfect project for that. So now I feel happier about that sweater. Now I'm like motivated to get going on it because it's just barely started. Let's see, I'm hoping today, if I have time, to start my darn Christmas cards. Here they are. I'll do a better little video of them in a second, but that's like a family picture we had taken this summer. The back is even better. There's Bowie and all his spectacular glory. Like, it's the true essence of our family right there. So that's the front and back of our Christmas card this year, our holiday card this year. So I hope to get some of these addressed and in envelopes maybe later today in between work stuff. That's a little goal I have. No cookies today, maybe just cards. But that would be great. I'm a little bit behind on my Arne and Carlos, but I did 6 rows last night, and so I've got 12 to do today if I want to catch up. And I saw it looks like it's turning into maybe a snowflake or a star in this red portion up here. So I've got like a little bit of the red started, and I've got a good like inch to go-ish, or maybe 2 inches with the clue from today and yesterday. Sorry, I'm just picking up a stitch that fell off. I want to catch it before I lose it. Sometimes when you just move things around, they like, there we go. I don't want to knit past that and not see it. Okay, so that's Arne and Carlos. It's looking really cool. Just have to keep going a little bit more tonight. Last night got busy because it was my nephew's 16th birthday, so we went and had some delicious tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, and it was fantastic, and some birthday cake. So that is that. Hopefully tonight I have some more time for knitting. I feel like I'm really behind on all of my knitting, and I need to get going on that yellow sweater that I'm working on and several other things that I want to finish by January. So I have no idea how I'm going to do all this, but it's just a busy time of year, and work has been busy and kids stuff. So it's just kind of the way it goes, but I'm trying. Also, I just remembered because I'm wearing my Dolly Parton t-shirt today under my sweater. And Arne and Carlos, or Arne actually said every time they do 6 rows, it takes them about 3 Dolly Parton songs. And so I'm gonna test it out today when I'm doing my 6 rows to see if I can do it as fast as Arne does in 3 Dolly Parton songs. And I think he's been listening to her new rock and roll album, which has been like a collab with different artists. And so I haven't heard that yet. So I'm gonna listen to 3 Dolly Parton songs and see if I can do my 6 rows. I know Arne's a fast knitter though, because I knitted with Arne and Carlos last year, probably about a year ago, at Modern Daily Knitting headquarters. They had a little workshop 2-day weekend thing where you got to learn the Norwegian knit and purl, and we did some color works things and some other techniques and tips that they had, which was so much fun, and they're amazing stories. They are just my favorites. So yeah, if you list your favorite YouTubers below, I'll just share my favorites are Arne and Carlos. If you've never listened to them before, go hang out. They're doing the stocking knit along right now, but they also have tons and tons of episodes full of tips and tricks and hilarious baking hijinks and all kinds of stuff on their Norwegian farm, and it's all so enjoyable. They are my absolute favorites. But yes, I'm gonna see if I can do 6 rows, 3 Dolly Parton songs. It's my new challenge for the day. Just a bit ago, I got a stack of books in the mail separately, but all at once they came, so I'll share these. And sadly, it is a bunch of publications that are gonna be ending and not probably available for very much longer. So these are things I had to grab now before they were gone. It's so sad and such a bummer. I know several of us are bummed out about the end of Pom Pom magazine, which has been one of my favorites over the recent years. I have several copies downstairs in my yarn room, but I just got a few more that I hadn't had the chance to get before, and I knew this was my chance. And they've been having a big online sale, so I knew this was my chance to grab these. I got Ready Set Raglan, which has several patterns that I've had my eye on anyway. And this is just a really good resource of several different sweater patterns. And it also has color blocking ideas, color exploration tips, cuffs and hems, variations and adjustments, which is really nice. Just some really good customization tips, and along with really nice sweater patterns. So there's a lot of good ones in here. It's called Ready Set Raglan. I think a lot of these are still available on the website, or you can get a digital version of this too, but I really like books. I'm a graphic designer and I've worked on several publications over the years. And this is just nice to have on my shelf of favorite knitting books. So Ready Set Raglan. I also got Ready Set Socks. I love a good sock book, and this one has a lot of beautiful ones. And I just love how beautifully photographed they are, how bright and fun, and I'm gonna just miss Pom Pom publications. They're all so good. So this also has a lot of great tips inside. It has variations, tutorials, and adjustments again. So they're so good about that, and offering different ways, like if you want to do toe up, cuff down, but how to switch things around, some different heel flaps, some different heel choices. And I just love all the variations, and their photos are just seriously the very best. So I knew I wanted this one. Ready Set Raglan, Ready Set Socks. And then I also got this beautiful book called Knits About Winter, which I think I'd had my eye on before, but then my friend Emily suggested it and said it's just gorgeous. Everything inside is really beautiful. And the photos are just the layout and the photos. It's always, that's their strength. Just gorgeous, everything. And little stories, little things to go along with it. Tons of beautiful stuff. So, Knits About Winter, another beautiful one. So those are my Pom Pom additions to my Pom Pom collection. Another one of my all-time favorite designers is closing down their website, and her older books are already hard to find, and I've been scouting some of the older ones out on eBay, and sometimes they go for a lot because she has older books for Rowan that are sometimes hard to find, and I have a collection of them because they're my favorites. Amazing resource, amazing designs, just over the years, really classic good stuff. And it's Kim Hargraves, and she's been knitting with Rowan for years and years and years, but also has done all these books on her own. And I just had 2 left that I was hoping to grab before she closed down her stuff. She's also selling samples on her website, which are gorgeous. And I think they just went down to half price, so you should go look at those. I think it's kimhargraves.com. And so I grabbed Adore and Winter, which are 2 of her most recent books, I believe. And then I have several others from older books over the years. Cherish is one of my favorites of all time. And there's like some big wool sweater books that I absolutely love. It's probably some of the first patterns I ever made were Rowan patterns, and they were Kim Hargraves patterns. So she just has a ton of very classic, amazing patterns. There's a bunch of off-white sweaters in here that I really love, that I kind of had my eye on. I think I have yarn for something in here that I'm not gonna be able to find it now. There's just a ton of these perfect sweaters, some bulky, some not. Oh, this one maybe was it. It's really hard to see in these pictures. It's very dark. It's like a textured black sweater. Of course, that's like what I would go for. There's this really great stripe and this green sweater. There is, everything is really good. This kind of jacket, beautiful with the hat. This green, dark green set. It's all amazing. Some really great brown sweaters. This black and white color work is awesome. Everything in here is really good. Oh, this black, maybe this is what I was Yep, it's called Vault in Brushed Fleece. A textured, really nice black sweater. I love these. Okay, and then the other one is called Winter. And again, classic, beautiful sweaters. This is the one I was thinking. There's another, this is navy, textured cables. Really hard to see here, but it's called Mist. Mist is the hat, Chili is the sweater. This is the one, I think it might be in, yep, it's in Big Wool, which I have downstairs, and I'm gonna make this for sure. Here's a nice cropped white set. Look at the skirt. It's a skirt and sweater set. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I would make it a little less cropped for myself, but really, really cool. This one's full of really great pieces. Gotta love Kim Hargrave. She's just, this. Big wool, huge cardigan coat. Anyway, no regrets getting these books because books are forever and I love them so much. And then I also grabbed the new Sandness, or one of the newer Sandness Garn sweater books. This one has a lot of great pieces in it. To get this, I think you have to purchase a sweater's quantity. There's like a rule that Sandness has about their pattern books, is that you have to buy a sweater's worth to get these. So I did that. I really love this one on the cover, and I might make this one in these exact colors. It's like an orangey red, this cream color work, and there's just beautiful, there's like a men's sweater, very classic Nordic stuff in here. Here's this one that's styled so cool. And this is brown color work. Their styling is amazing. Love their photography. Definitely falling down the Sandness rabbit hole lately, like a lot of other people. There's just really great stuff. There's this blue and white, which is really nice. What else? Here's a great cardigan. Kind of holiday-ish sweaters, but not necessarily. There's that men's sweater again. It's fantastic. Oh, this one's great too. Very classic Norwegian sweater. Arnie and Carlos have a similar one, I think. This is really great. So anyway, oh, here's another, sorry. They're all really great. Okay, so I'm very happy with all the books I just got in the mail. There's nothing more exciting than getting knitting books in the mail, for sure. It's my favorite. Last but not least, I'm gonna open my advents for today before I forget and before I have to get the kids from school, which is coming really fast because it's early out today. Today is the 13th, right? That's crazy. Big Chelsea bag is number 13. Does that mean it's brown like this Big Chelsea? I don't know. I kind of think I'm gonna guess brown. 13. 15, 16, where's the 13? 13, I'm just gonna guess brown for the Big Chelsea tote and the Big Chelsea bag, right? Oh, okay, this is a very Chelsea Yarns color. Very pretty. This is more rose gold, like kind of like what I was thinking for yesterday. Maybe they got mixed up. Let's see, 13, right? This is kind of what I was thinking for the vessel yesterday at Hudson Yards. But maybe this is Chelsea. What's it called? 13. Big Chelsea bag. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. This is totally Chelsea Yarns, like rose gold with a pink and a brown, and very, very pretty. That's gorgeous. So that's number 13 for my big Chelsea, New York Advent. And then Magpie. It's a heavy box. All these things in there. Here's 13 for today. I think it opens this direction. Ooh, it's yarn. It's Leo, which is a very fun sign. I have a lot of Leo friends. And I love this color. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's like a muted purple with yellow specks and kind of maybe rust specks. This is beautiful. I love this color. Okay, maybe tomorrow I'll lay them all out to see what we have, because we're getting a lot of the zodiac with that first main day of that dark purpley indigo color. So I want to see them all together now. So that was Leo. Really like Leo. Putting it back. And that might be it for this afternoon. That was kind of fun though. All the books, and then my Magpie discovery with the spin cycle. I really like the Alpenglow idea now that this is all coming together. I'm gonna wind this up and get going on this too, little by little, because I know I have a lot of other whips going on right now that need to be done, but I really wanna see this with these colors like this and this. This reminds me, I've done this before. This is totally the colors I picked for my Stephen West sock knit along, whenever that was. I don't even remember what month that was. Was that in the summertime? Whenever the sock knit along, I totally did neon yellow with a dark green, and now I'm doing it again. But then I can wear the socks with the sweater. I love it. Like, this is happening. I just maybe need one more color to throw in, maybe an unexpected color. For that mohair part, there's like one little section that has that different, I don't know yet. I'm gonna stash dive. I'm not gonna buy something else, but I'm getting, you know, the second skein of this to make it work. Because this is those little specks that come through the body and the arms too. So there'll be little blips of neon yellow and this weird minty green, gray. Weird, and there's like a natural color in there too. Anyway, I'm just excited about this, if you can't tell. Also, I am happy to report I have been wearing the heck out of my spiked Crocs. I pretty much wear them like slippers around the house, kind of like I thought I would, but I really wear them all the time, and they kind of just accentuate whatever I'm wearing for my outfit that day, and they make me so happy, and they're very comfortable. Inside, they don't feel spiky at all. You can't tell that they're all spiked out. So anyway, if you're wondering if I'm really wearing them, yes, I am. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I think I'm gonna listen to some podcasts and watch some Vlogmases, and if you have any suggestions, put them down below. I am gonna listen to Elise Kripe, my friend Elise Joy, you might know her as. She's been my longtime internet friend since we go back to scrapbooking days. If you know that world, let me know below, because that's a whole different craft era that I was part of before knitting. But she's on a podcast, and she just announced in her newsletter today that she is taking a break from the internet, and I'm super interested, and I want to go watch or listen to her podcast. So it's Elise Kripe on quitting the internet, and I'm going to go give that a listen before I pick up my kids and while I'm doing some work here at home. But thank you for hanging out here with me. I hope you're having a good day or evening or morning, whatever it is in your world. But thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.